Hello everybody, Metathrow here, and welcome to the weekly update video for OSRS. Now this week we have a Bounty Hunter Rewards beta and more. So up first is going to be the Beta World's tips and tricks. The Rewards beta, you can log into any of the following worlds: 401, 405, 407, 409, and 412. So there is specifically one for each region, just to make things a little easier and tidier for you folks. But the gear option, so you can actually see right here, it'll show that there is gear supply and stat supplies. So the gear option brings up the tournament supplies interface, where you'll be able to see Ancient Warrior armors, Bounty Hunter Pacific weapons and views at the very top. So if you scroll for any other gear you might want to try out, or use the search function and find specific gear. There's also loadout options on the top left, but none of these contain any of the new rewards. So you're better off putting something together from scratch if you're looking to give rewards feedback. Basically, try to break the meta. The stat option will bring up a scroll listing of all the stats available alongside your current level, and by clicking on any of those skills, you'll be able to input any value you like. So this should come in handy if you want to try out the new corrupted armors and get a feel for the potential of those 20 defense pure builds. So keep that in mind. There is also note that there is a bright purple trim on the corrupt stasis in this screenshot. So as you can see here, it is actually trimmed how to separate it for now. But it says that this is just a placeholder and doesn't represent how it'll look in the main game. Although, I'm going to be honest, maybe it should be. That looks pretty cool. So, when you go into the altar inside the enclave and right click to swap your spellbook easily, so now it's handy if you're testing out the corrupt ancient warrior equipment on a Zerker and planning on to use vengeance. So that is something to keep in mind. So now you can right click and you can see all the different types of spellbooks and change it right there. There's also a handy portal here. They literally called it that. But this is to get your elsewhere in Gillinor, so make use of the aptly named handy portal on the west side of the enclave, which has a few teleport options. If you're using ancient warrior equipment, remember that you won't be able to attack NPCs while you're wearing them, so best stick to other gear before trying to mess with the PVM content. And then there's a free-for-all portal, which is a clan's free-for-all war going on, so do check that out if you're feeling brave. But there is the ancient warrior equipment. They are not available to test at this stage. Only the ancient warrior armors and weapon views are available this week. So right now it's just the armors. So as you can see, the corrupted versus the non-corrupted, which the Statius Tier 78 Uncorrupted Armor set. Well, it's just that, it's level 78. And it has much better defense. You might as well say a little bit more than double the defense and double the stats of the Corrupted variant. But the Corrupted variant allows you to be Tier 20. So there is some benefits to it, so do keep that in mind. Now, if you're a higher level, obviously, you want the regular. And then you got the Vestas, of course. The armor rating is more than double, going from the Vestas Tier 20 to Corrupted to the Vestas Tier 78 Uncorrupted. And Morgan's armor is really no different. It is more than double when you go from the Tier 20 to the Tier 78, and same goes with, well, Zerial is actually a little bit closer to double. But again, the Tier 20 is the weaker variant to the Tier 78. So weapon imbues, while the ancient warrior weapons won't be making an appearance in this current beta, they have a handful of imbued offerings for people to get involved with. So for example, you have the Dark Bow Eye, so Dark Bow imbued. So it is an iconic weapon in old school. It's seemed pretty iconic in RS3. But the range accuracy increases from 95 to 105. Special attack cost is reduced from 55 to 45%. Minimum special attack damage for dragon arrows increases from 8 to 10, and for non-dragon arrows 5 to 7. Special attack damage now rolls between the minimum and maximum hits rather than being clamped by it. This means that if your max hit is 48, for example purposes, using dragon arrows, you'll be able to roll damage between 10 and 48, giving you the average of a hit of 29. With the non-imbued behavior, any hit below 10 is rounded up to a 10, so you'd still have an average hit of 24, but that extra 5 is pretty nice. So there's also the barrel chest imbued, which the crush bonus increases from 92 to 102, strength is 100 to 110, and the special attack damage increases from plus 10% to plus 25%. So as you can see, it has a pretty good theme overall, so do go and check out the beta. And the 12th annual Golden Gnomes recap is here, so do go onto the official OSRS YouTube page and you can find the awards ceremony. And congratulations to all those who participated, selected, and of course to those who won the awards as well. And there's some other changes this week. We have some players will now receive level up notifications when they advance the combat level. These behave the same as existing level up messages and will now respect any pre-existing thresholds for clans and group chat notifications. If the thought of another level up notification potentially interrupting your action terrifies you, don't panic, read the next one. So here we go. Added a new gameplay setting allowing you to disable the level up interface. So you will still continue to get the level up fireworks, jingles, messages, and broadcasts, but leveling will no longer delay or interrupt your actions. They re-enabled the ability to drop a max stack of items, so anyone looking to drop the 2,147,482,647 of any given item can rejoice. There is no longer a risk of max stack disappearing on one drop. Players inside the Arceus library will no longer receive, or will receive a message rather, in their chat box letting them know when the books have shifted locations. Cerberus Flame Attack will no longer damage players after the Hellish Hound has died. There were some rare occasions where Cerberus would not die and launch a Flame Attack at the same time, leaving Cerberus dead, but players vulnerable to damage from the flame. Some grammar has been corrected when the notifications about Group Ironman and Group leaders being demoted due to inactivity. The Volatile Staff has moved to the basic tier of reward chests of LMS, while the Lightbearer and the Void Waker were added to the superior tier. The Ceradim Gunsword no longer shows gold-trimmed hit splats for very low damage values. Rearranged a few gameplay settings to make them appear under the correct header. The Monkeys in Trouble Brewing are no longer susceptible to alchemy spells. The players can now challenge each other to friendly duels and clan wars without the interfaces suddenly canceling. Activity high scores that previously had a minimum KC of 35 have been expanded. The new minimum is 30. Players can currently in the 30 to 34 range should find that their score are added gradually after some more gaming sessions. So, as the system would be expected to struggle with the load of the big influx of newly ranked players all at once, so they're taking small steps like they did with this one and like they did last month. So there's a 2-day membership code expiry, so if any of you have this or remember this, If you remember, during the time of, there was a downtime period of, well, in November 2022, that people were sent in their in-game email box code, their message sentry, that you were sent a code, and this code is soon going to expire. You have until Friday, March 31st to claim it and, rejoice, if you will. Otherwise, we have cracked a clue, and this week's hint is for the clue obtained by the chemist. So here it is. Cleverly hidden with misaligned by design between the sides of zigzagging line, the solution lies in not so hidden place, but the designer has made it difficult to trace. Otherwise, PvP Rural Rhoda has moved to period B's 560, UK PvP 579, US high risk PvP 561, UK free to play PvP 580, US LMS competitive, and World 390 AUS for LMS competitive is deactivated with this Rhoda, and the PvP arena is using the 1 defense pure loadouts in the ranked duels and tournaments this week. That'll be it for this video, so thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later guys.